Ever wish you could just like navigate those tricky conversations with more grace?
Okay.
Or maybe just connect with people on a deeper level? Well, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
We are diving deep into 50 empathy journal prompts by Lestallion. And
Okay.
I got to tell you, this isn't just about journaling.
Yeah.
It's about unlocking like a whole new level of understanding about yourself and others.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating about these prompts is how they highlight the link between self-compassion and empathy.
Okay.
It's like they build on this idea
Right.
that you can't truly understand and empathize with others until you've kind of, learned to extend that same kindness to yourself first.
I love that. So
Yeah.
it's like building a foundation of self-compassion first.
Exactly. Like there's this one prompt. It asks, how does being kind to yourself help you be more empathetic towards others?
Hmm.
And it's really about recognizing that we all have flaws, we all make mistakes,
Right.
and that's okay. And it's this understanding of our own vulnerabilities that allows us to connect with the vulnerabilities of others.
That makes so much sense. It's like once you've shown yourself compassion, you have more capacity for it with other people.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And there's actually research, the psychologist Kristin Neff, she shows this connection. Self-compassion can lead to, get this, increased empathy and compassion for others.
Wow. So there's real science backing this up.
Right.
Okay, so once we're like cultivating that self-compassion,
Right.
how do these prompts then guide us towards understanding others better?
Well, Lestallion has a whole section dedicated to just that. And one that really stood out to me asks you to think about how cultural differences can impact empathy.
Okay.
It's just this powerful reminder that our own experiences and upbringing shape our understanding of the world.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, it's so easy to forget that not everyone sees things the same way we do.
Exactly. Like, imagine a situation where someone is being overly apologetic and it makes you uncomfortable.
Okay.
Someone from a culture that places a high value on formal apologies might interpret that behavior very differently than someone from a culture where directness is valued more.
That is such a good example.
Yeah,
So these prompts are about recognizing those differences and understanding where others are coming from based on their own, unique backgrounds and experiences.
absolutely. And it's not just about cultural differences, but also about recognizing the impact of individual experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So, like one thought-provoking prompt asks, reflect on a time you felt judged by someone and how it made you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And then it challenges you to flip the script and consider how you might have inadvertently judged others.
Ooh, that one hits home. We've all been on both sides of that equation. Okay, so we're building self-compassion, broadening our understanding of others. What's next in this empathy building journey?
Well, this is where the skills part comes in.
Okay.
Lestallion has this whole section, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dedicated to building these essential empathy skills.
Yeah.
Things like active listening, deciphering nonverbal cues,
Right.
and even managing your own emotions in those challenging situations.
Right, because empathy isn't just about understanding, it's about doing something with that understanding.
Right. Exactly. There's this one prompt that I think really gets at this. It says, think about a time you successfully navigated a disagreement with someone by using empathy. What specific actions or words helped? It's encouraging you to really analyze those successful interactions
Right.
and pull out those, actionable strategies.
So it's like building up your empathy toolkit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And just like any skill, empathy requires practice.
Sure.
And sometimes that means pushing yourself outside that comfort zone a little bit.
Speaking of comfort zones, there's a section in these prompts that, I'll be honest, I initially wanted to shy away from.
Okay.
It's the navigating difficult situations section.
Yeah.
What is the value in intentionally putting yourself in those scenarios? Right.
Even hypothetically.
That's such a great question.
Yeah.
And, it highlights this really important point about empathy. It's not always, easy or comfortable.
Right.
And Lestallion doesn't shy away from this at all. In fact, one prompt asks you to imagine you're in a heated argument with someone you care about. How can you respond in a way that prioritizes understanding over being right?
Oof. That is a tough one. But I see what you mean. Thinking through those difficult situations, but in a safe space.
Right.
Journaling can equip us to handle them better in real life.
Absolutely. It's like a dress rehearsal for your emotions, right? And this actually ties into another crucial aspect of empathy that Lestallion addresses, managing empathy fatigue.
Oh, yes. That feeling of being completely drained emotionally.
Especially for those of us who are, naturally empathetic. I've definitely been there.
It's so incredibly common. And it's exactly why self-care is so important, vital, really, for those empathetic people.
Yeah.
There's even a prompt in here and asks, what are your go-to strategies for recharging and setting boundaries when you're feeling emotionally drained?
Mm.
It encourages you to develop this like personalized plan for navigating those moments.
That's so important. I love how these prompts kind of blend that internal work, like the self-compassion
Yeah.
with the external skills,
Mhm.
like managing, empathy fatigue to create this like more holistic approach to building empathy.
And I think that holistic approach is what makes this resource so powerful.
Right.
It's not just this like quick fix.
Yeah.
It's a journey, like you said, of self-discovery and growth.
It really is. It reminds me of that quote, I don't know who said it, but empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another.
Absolutely. And, these journal prompts, they provide the roadmap for doing just that.
It really does. And you know what I appreciate? It's how these prompts encourage like ongoing reflection.
Right.
There's one towards the end. It's like, write about the most important lesson you've learned about empathy. It's like you're taking a step back for a second.
Yeah.
And you see how far you've come,
That's such a powerful prompt because it allows you to like synthesize all these insights and you actually create your own personal definition of empathy.
Right.
It's less of this like abstract concept now,
Right.
and it was more of a lived experience.
Right. Absolutely. And speaking of lived experience, it's got me thinking, how can we go beyond just the personal impact of empathy?
That's a fantastic point. The source material focuses primarily on like individual growth,
Right.
but the principles in these prompts, man, they have far-reaching implications.
Right. Like imagine if we applied these empathy building techniques, but to like address conflicts in our communities or even on a global scale.
Think about that prompt about how cultural differences impact empathy. What if we use that as like a starting point
Okay.
for just fostering intercultural dialogue
Right.
and understanding?
Wow. That would be incredible. It's like these prompts are, they're like seeds of empathy that have the potential to blossom into something so much bigger.
Precisely. And you hit the nail on the head. This source material focuses on personal growth,
Right.
but the application of these principles, it's limitless, really.
Yeah.
It starts with each of us
Yeah.
and cultivating that empathy within ourselves
Right.
and then radiating that outwards to our
Yeah.
relationships, communities, and, the world.
So anyone listening, if you're ready to deepen your connections, navigate challenges with more understanding, or maybe just become a more compassionate human being, I think exploring these empathy journal prompts, it can be truly transformative.
I agree.
It's really about, taking that journey of self-discovery, and that can lead to a more empathetic and compassionate world. And what could be more important than that?